prepared yet.
You need to try and pick off the units as... Look at the shields on the mark.
Oh my god, the drone's gonna take him.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Metalopolis, which is now covered in goop, courtesy of IdrA, who is in the green trunks. He is playing Zerg. Close air positions right here on Metalopolis, so that's to the north right there, versus his opponent, the one and only Mousesports Mana. That's his account right there. Tosh. Don't know why, but there you go. That is Mousesports Mana, folks. He is in the blue trunks, and he is playing Protoss to the east.
And because of the way the spawning positions have been set down, the gods have chosen where they shall be. This is going to be close air positions. IdrA will be able to find out exactly where Mana has spawned by this Overlord. Will he decide to pull back? Actually, Mousesports Mana is going to decide to go ahead and scout first with that. Very smart thing to do. Everyone should do that on these 4-player maps and so on that do have that close air position. And he knows exactly what's going on. And now can go ahead and scout with a 9 probe after that pylon. And deny any form of fast expand here by IdrA.
Yeah, well, we weren't really expecting to see, I think, a fast expansion from IdrA. Anyway, IdrA is definitely one of those people that believes, without a shadow of a doubt, that you just cannot fast expand against Protoss. Most of the time he's right, but there are occasions where the Protoss doesn't go in quite quick enough. This certainly will not be one of those, admittedly. That said, IdrA has seen everything that's going on right now. He notes the Chrono Boost and things like that, and he also notes the timing of the Gateway going down on 13 supply.
Yeah, it goes on 13, and he'll be basically checking the gases soon, checking everything super standard, make sure there isn't just like a random forge being thrown down, which is possible sometimes. IdrA decides to go ahead and throw down the extractor, then spawning pool, getting that extractor up because he wants to get speed. ASAP does not want to be facing any stalker pressure, and with that speed, it's very hard to deal with.
Yep, and he will look to get that one very shortly. Again, this is very, very standard against his opponent, indeed any Protoss. So first gas coming up right here for Mana. And this is interesting. I mean, bearing in mind the positions, bearing in mind their close air, would you expect this to be a very aggressive game from the outset?
I have no idea. This can go either way. It can be very aggressive depending on the mindsets of both players. If they want to be aggressive when they assert certain builds, or it can go the other way to a very macro-orientated game as the locations to expand go against each other. They spawn away from each other.
Yeah.
So it could go either way. We'll have to see. And we do see Mana throwing down a second gas, using another Chrono Boost on that Nexus. So he's gone very, very heavy with the Chrono Boost actually in this game. So most likely be trying to get that fast expand up, I guess, like probably not 1 gate expo, most likely 2 or 3 gate depending on what he feels to do. IdrA, on the other hand, is finally going to be able to get that expansion. And I think because IdrA spotted the amount of Chrono Boost that's been used on that Nexus, he's actually saving his speed. He's not researching speed yet, and is probably going to maybe fast expand again because of that, just by looking at that Chrono Boost.
Yeah, he actually pulled all of his workers off gas. He is actually sitting on 100 right here. He's not going for any more than that. But you're right. Considering the amount of Chrono Boosts that have been used on that would indicate that we're not looking for any kind of fast warp gate play, so probably not looking for a 4 gate. It would be a little bit late if we were, because he's not Chrono Boosting that warp gate research, and of course he's not Chrono Boosting. That is actually, that's what OGSMC does, actually, Chrono Boosting.
Chrono Boosting.
Yeah, Chrono Boosting. And he's not Chrono Boosting the gateway either, so yeah, he's not getting out a huge amount of units. It's primarily sentries, so it is almost certainly an expansion coming up very shortly.
Yeah, definitely, I'm sure of that. And he's actually saving his Chrono Boosting action so he can go ahead and deny IdrA the scouting option, because IdRA's still in the dark, doesn't know about these gateways yet, and did see one go down. But will the scout be able to do it? IdrA, well, very nice control with that drone. Finally goes down.
Zap.
In the meantime, we do have the transition or transfer down to that base for IdrA.
This is actually 4 gateways. That's really interesting right here by Mana, and we were looking for an expansion, and I have to imagine that he was as well. This could still be a 4 gateway into an expansion. I mean, there is such a thing as a defensive 4 gateway approach, but I have a feeling that honestly he is deliberately showing what looks like a expansion.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, he saved the Chrono Boost. He used so many on the Nexus. I think it is 4 in total, which is not really normal. If you're going to 4 gate, it's either 1 or 2. So really throwing IdrA off with the mindset of this game, not showing him the gateway count. Also has pylons in great location and sees the Overlord if it does try to come in. And 6 roaches in production by IdrA here. This could be really good for IdrA, especially if this attack does come. He's got a lot of units out, and in comes a Stalker Warp. Did he see that? He might have seen that with the Overlord, but now all units are being made, and IdrA knows what's coming, I feel.
Yeah, he did. I'm not sure if he saw it. I really don't. It was just on the edge right here. And a single Zergling getting in there into his base. Doing a little bit of nibbling. He now knows what's coming. The question is, can he respond to it in time? Now, that is a nice block off right there, of course. That is what's to be expected if you're going aggressive up against that. Second force field coming down. It's IdrA's bane, what can I say? However, IdrA is pushing this back quite nicely. The Queen will go down, unfortunately. And once the Stalker Firepower really starts to rain down on those roaches, it's going to prove to be problematic. IdrA was able to repulse that quite nicely, however, unless Mana's got a big follow-up, especially with those. Wow, that is unbelievable. In the meantime, IdrA actually shut down 2 gateways with just a couple of lings.
Yeah, wow. IdrA really read this game well and counters it, and basically Mana has got nothing to do now. He's got a lot of units, but against all these roaches and lings that have been made, his handful of units is not going to be so good. He's lost 2 warp gates, so he's only warping 2 units at a time. And now IdrA is going to go ahead, take this pylon down first, and then move in with the rest of these roaches. And he has gone back to drones, so the drone count is actually in favor of IdrA, 30-22 now.
Yeah, that's going to be a real problem for Mana right here. It was amazing play, honestly, by IdrA as well. Just with a couple of Zerglings able to take out that pylon, it was so critical because of the positioning of those gateways, shutting 2 of them down. And that meant that Mana's in massive amounts of trouble. He has actually supply blocks right now because of that pylon being taken out. And this is probably only a matter of time right here for IdrA, honestly, unless there's some amazing counterplay coming in. IdrA is now getting his 3rd base up, and Mana is stuck on 1. So Mana's going to have to get very aggressive. He's going to have to lock his opponent down, but I mean, his army count's looking all right. I think it's going to come down to sentry play here, really. Yeah,
it could go either way. And the biggest problem for Mana is he hasn't been able to get his expansion up because IdrA's been putting a lot of pressure on. IdrA's gone ahead and taken his 3rd base as well, and still putting pressure around the map.
Yep, he is scouting for any kind of 3rd or indeed any kind of hidden expansion. Mana is not even bothering to expand. He's going to have to play this on 1 base. I think there's going to be a timing window of the next couple of minutes where he can get in there and do damage. And if the force field play is good enough, IdrA might get locked down. But 2 spine crawlers coming up as well, though. This is going to be so hard to actually hit him.
And IdrA scouts, there's no expansion still. He knows what's coming, and he does get into the main base too. As soon as he kills that probe, we will be able to go in. And we'll be able to do a lot of damage, though. Oh, he misses the warp in too, so IdrA's in the main. And 2 spine crawls, as you said, a lot of units in production for IdrA here.
This is do or die right here for Mana. He doesn't have any other choice. Those force fields pretty much wasted for the time being. He takes out 1 spine crawler, and there we go. He is trying to hold back as many as possible. His force field placement isn't good enough, though. IdrA has found ways through it. The wall is collapsing, and Mana taking huge amounts of damage. GG, ladies and gentlemen.
GG indeed.
Well. What a play by IdrA right there. Excellent defense, and of course the force fields from Mana not good enough. But it was really down to those 2 hero Zerglings, really, that shut that game down entirely for Mana.
I mean, I'm just thinking back to it now, and IdrA knew that his opponent, well, he thought he knew that his opponent was going to go for a very aggressive economy style based. And so IdrA was actually just going to all in there. And he was like, he built all these roaches before he scouted the 4 gate.
Yeah.
And so he had all these roaches in production and then squeezed in 2 lings to the main base and was like, oh, you're 4-gating me. I have all these units anyway. That's great. That's really awesome. So, Mana kind of played a mind game with to himself, I suppose you could say.
Yeah. Playing mind games with IdrA is not always the best idea. IdrA is kind of scary like that, so I don't know if that's a fantastic idea there by Mana. And perhaps not a lot of confidence in that first game for Mana. I mean, as you said, Mana's PvZ is definitely his weakest matchup.
And I think he kind of shot himself in the foot a little bit then, expecting IdrA to be aggressive with his expanding. And we've actually seen a lot recently if IdRA's just like, you know, I'm not even going to bother trying to play late game against Protoss. He's going to be very assertive. So I think Mana kind of played into his own trap there.
Well, the next map might not be so quick because it's going to be on the Tal'Daram Altar, folks. Best of 5 series still all to play for with IdrA 1 up in this best of 5. And we'll be right back in just a few short moments, folks, with your next delicious dollop of esports. Don't go anywhere.